He is the former Bellator light heavyweight champion, and now he is a heavyweight, returning at the PFL Champion Series in Dubai on January 25th. It is my pleasure today to speak to Vadim Nemkov. Vadim, how are you?
У меня все отлично, я рад, что буду скоро драться. Не был в деле
I'm
очень
really
давно
excited
и
that I'm gonna fight soon, so
готов
feel
выйти в
great.
клетку.
So let me start, Vadim, with how this all came about, because we heard you were going to fight Ante Delija, then you're going to fight Corey Anderson, and now you're fighting Tim. How did this whole thing play out for you on your end?
Конечно, тяжело готовиться,
Yeah,
когда
it's
постоянно
when
меняются
it's
соперники,
uncertainty, it's always not really good. And there was, renegotiation, negotiations back and forth, but finally everything is, got to the point where we agreed on something. So I'm pretty happy and pretty excited that they're gonna step in the octagon on January 25th.
Can I ask about the Corey Anderson situation, because I'm sure you've seen, Corey's been very public saying that you were going to fight him and then you decided not to fight him, and obviously he's saying that you're scared of him. What was the situation with Corey Anderson?
It's honestly speaking, it's just it's like from the perspective, of what I can get out of this fight. There is nothing that I can gain from it. I literally the first, as you mentioned, there was another fight which was offered to me, which we agreed on. The second fight, the PFL announced the fight before we agreed to it. So it's like afterwards we start negotiating, because there was a possibility that we would fight if the money was different, the contract was different. I definitely showed all my skills. I think I declassified him in the second fight, where he was extremely frustrated. For 4 rounds, he lost 4 rounds out of 5. He got knocked down. I don't think there is anything for me to gain out of this fight. First of all, he's not a heavyweight. He never fought heavyweight. Like, he's not rated a heavyweight. So it's just there was more questions than answers on that fight. There was no point of that fight at all. And that's honestly, if he would fight someone else and he would be in ratings, and it's going to be a fight that is going to be belt on the line or something else that I can gain out of it, I would reconsider. But at the moment, I declassified him. It was pretty easy fight. He likes to run his mouth. He does it best. He would rather, get prepared better next time if he's going to get it.
And when you say negotiation, so in the right circumstances, you would fight him again.
Right, after the fight was like, we didn't know the fight, like it was we didn't even consider him as an opponent to begin with. But when the fight was announced, we talked to PFL. We asked them to renegotiate the contract, offer better money, or ask them for the contract to be like a title fight, let's say, for the heavyweight division title with the belt on the line, and PFL refused to do so. So that fight didn't make any sense. I'm sure you've been around for a while. You understand every single fight has to make some sense for somebody. Actually, this is something from my side personally. Corey left UFC because he did not like the fights he was given. That's what he was saying in your interview, I believe. So that's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So to that point, Vadim, so when you got when you got Tim as a name, can I imagine at that point, like, it just didn't matter because you just wanted to fight, and obviously he is a heavyweight, he's been around forever. Was it just about getting a fight at this point?
Yeah, I was not active for like 11 months. So at this point, yeah, I need a real heavyweight guy that, I would fight, the guy with the name. And as Tim Johnson has a name, he was around for a bit. And, I just want to get back in octagon and, get back in action.
Yeah. How has that transition to heavyweight been? Because you looked phenomenal in your debut. Obviously, you spent your entire career fighting at light heavyweight, but how has that transition been, going to heavyweight?
Вес сейчас чувствую себя отлично. Я очень много работаю.
Yeah, I work with a different kind of guys. Like right now, I work with a lot of different heavyweights. Some of them shorter, bigger, different, different kind of wrestlers, all kind of stuff. And like, I feel, I'm as good as they are, and most of the time I'm way better than they are. So I definitely think I'm gonna do a lot of damage in, heavyweight division.
Would you say light heavyweight is totally done for you, or would there be a scenario where something could come up to interest you? The reason I'm asking the question is I think a lot of people would love to see you maybe fight in the UFC one day, and obviously there's a lot of new challenges. But is heavyweight your only goal now, or is it heavyweight unless the right offer comes along?
Нет, я планирую уже оставаться в тяжелом весе, потому что я становлюсь, возраст становится
Yes,
все старше.
honestly speaking, I don't
И
think
с
there's ever a
каждым годом всё
scenario where
тяжелее и
I'm gonna
тяжелее
go
вес.
back to light
И
heavyweight because
я
I'm
бы хотел
getting
уже
older, and the older
побольше
I'm
времени
getting, it's
провести в
tougher
боях,
for me
чем
to cut to cut the weight, and I
пусть
rather,
это пару раз
have a
пробую
longer
тяжелый вес и
career where I
все-таки
can, fight
надеемся
for longer
лучшего.
rather than because I had some medical stuff that, doctors
Просто
recommend
вес
me not to do
это
it.
очень
So
тяжело.
Yeah. Do you have any interest in? I know your focus is Tim Johnson, but do you have any interest in the Francis Ngannou fight? Because right after his fight, after his win, everyone over Reina Ferreira, everyone said Vadim Nemkov, that's the guy, that's the fight we should see. Do you have interest in the Francis Ngannou fight?
Конечно, мне было бы за честь подраться с Фрэнсисом Нганну. Он очень сильный оппонент. Ты очень многого добился в
of
смешанных
course it would be an honor.
единоборствах.
The
И
guy is like he did it all. He, he
выиграть
showkazed his skills in boxing
бойца
and like
во
MMA.
время было для
He's a big
меня
name.
очень
He's a great athlete,
хорошим
so it would be my honor to share
человеком
an
в моей
octagon with
карьере.
him.
I don't generally like asking about contracts, Vadim, but there have been a lot of rumors that perhaps this was going to be maybe your last fight with PFL. Can I ask about your future? Like, are you happy with PFL? Because I think there's always going to be that question of like, would you come to the UFC? I think that's just general the sport, right? Everyone's like, will Vadim come to the UFC? So can I just ask, like, after Tim Johnson, what does the future hold for you?
Honestly, it all depends on the PFL. If they're gonna give me good fights, good names, but I have to stay active. I cannot fight once a year because this is something that I cannot afford to do. So if they're gonna give me good, like good contracts, good names, like I'm ready to stay.
Yeah. Do you have interest in the UFC just because it's the UFC?
Интерес есть, потому что в UFC очень много бойцов тяжелого
Of course,
дивизиона,
like I mean,
которые
UFC has
высокого
one of
уровня,
they have a
которые,
lot of great
с которыми было
heavyweight
бы
guys,
интересно
so that I would
подраться
love to
и
face.
дать
So
себе
it's definitely exciting and definitely would be
тоже,
something
как бы
potentially
очень
be
круто.
interested in.
Last thing, Vadim, I'm sure you saw this week the PFL officially announced that Bellator is no more, and I know it was already kind of that way after the purchase, but you were a huge part of Bellator for a lot of years. You were a champion in Bellator. Can I just ask, like, is there any sadness that Bellator is gone, or it seems like Bellator is gone? Because you were a major part of that organization for a lot of years.
Да, я расстроен, что
Of
организация
course,
эта
it is sad. Like, I
прекратила
spent a lot
свое
of time
существование.
in that
И
organization, and I
провел
opened
очень
up
много
as
рингов,
as an athlete, and it's kind of sad that they
свой
gone.
в этой
The
организации.
exciting part is this is the last
Я рад,
tournament
что
that they have, and
в
I'm going to be a
следующем
part of
турнире
it. So,
буду драться часто.
yeah, it is what it is.
So the heavyweight tournament in April, you expect to be part of that?
И
I
я
proved
планирую
myself a long
участие
time
тоже
ago. I
в
don't
этом
think I
году,
should try to,
там
prove myself again over
меньше
something as a
народа,
Grand Prix, and especially since
и
they
я
cut,
хочу
the
драться
purses and
супер
stuff.
бои,
So I don't
чтобы
really think I
зарабатывать
would ever consider it
деньги.
unless it makes sense. And as of now, I just want to get like big fights, like super fights.
Yeah, well, I think you and Ngannou, that's the fight to make. I think if you beat Tim Johnson, and I think a lot of people believe you will, I think you and Francis Ngannou later this year would be a massive, massive fight.
Ну, если это всем интересно, если это будет интересно организации,
Yeah,
то
but the guy help is
если
after this
даст
fight,
Бог,
it's
выиграю,
gonna go well and everything else is like, yeah, I'm ready. I'm definitely excited about that fight.
Absolutely. Well, Vadim, thank you so much for the time. I really appreciate it. Safe travels to Dubai. Best of luck in the fight. And we're all really excited to see you back in action again.
Thank
Thank you very much.